Welcome to another edition of Biro Sports Talk. I'm your host, Biro, and what can I say? It's been a very eventful day, eventful week. I know for today, I helped some people get out of a ditch with some of my neighbors. They were pretty much ran off the road. I watched it happen by another vehicle, but we were able to get them out and back on the road. So, great feeling on that. Of course, work at my day job's been great. But let's do what we do here on Biro Sports Talk. Real quick, if you haven't already, follow us on Twitter, on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course Twitch if you're here on Twitch. Of course, the Twitch. We're trying to grow. We're trying. But I digress. Let's get talking. So the Super Bowl happened. Yeah. Big things. Tom Brady's also apparently going to have minor knee surgery. But Tampa Bay overcome Kansas City, making me 0 for 3 in the last 3 picks of the year. Thanks, Chiefs. It's okay. But what does this mean? An article here on ESPN, we're just going to start there with bold predictions for all 32 teams. We're just going to go down the order. They start in the FC East. So let's go. The first bold prediction, the Bills will not resign Matt Milano. What I do see the Bills doing is adding depth to their roster. They're a very good team. They're definitely gonna compete for the Super Bowl next year. Gonna push Kansas City, and quite frankly, I think they're ready. They're right at that next step where they're gonna get better. So, expect the Bills to do great things. Next, they're expecting the Dolphins to reunite an Alabama trio, drafting Devontae Smith and Najee Harris to pair with Tua Tagovailoa. Interesting because at 3 and 18, 18's a little high for Najee Harris. 3, it's kind of where Devontae Smith is supposed to go. But you look at those spots, it could happen. It could very well happen. Devontae Smith could very well be still there at 3. And that would be perfect. And Tua could get more comfortable. Dolphins as a 10-6 team, missing the playoffs as the 8th seed. They're right there, man. This year they're going to hopefully bump up again. So it'll be interesting to see if they make playoffs or if they take a step back even further. This is a very bold prediction. They're saying Jimmy Garoppolo will be the Patriots quarterback in 2021. Are the Patriots really going to sell out to the 49ers on this? Oh, man, that'll be interesting. Man, I like how a light just hit me from a phone that's charging. But as I keep talking, let's keep going. Do I think Jimmy G goes to the Patriots? I don't see it. I don't think he'll go there. Oh man, it's even making all the noise. Come on. There's no noise. There's not. There we go. Silent mode. That's what it needed to be. Alright. As I was saying, though, you're looking at, man, they're going to have to give up some sort of ransom to get Jimmy G after getting a ransom for Jimmy G. It'll be interesting to see. I know he's, injury prone, but we'll see where that goes. The Jets, they're saying that Sam Darnold will be traded to San Francisco. Wow. Um, I don't think it's a bad idea. I just also think it will be very, very interesting where to see them at. The Jets got to step forward. I mean, they got a lot of pieces they need to make, but I think they owe Sam Darnold one more year before they blow it up. In the North, AFC North, you got Baltimore. They're saying they're going to sign Joe Thuney, one of the top guards in free agency. However, their bold prediction also mentions Allen Robinson going. So I mean, it'll be interesting. I don't know if it's worth it, if you know what I'm saying. Don't mind me, just trying to get everything situated and going and doing things while we're going. There we go. But the Ravens, very good team. We'll see what they do. Bengals. They'll let Carl Lawson walk, and they will sign William Jackson III to a massive contract. Interesting, but I also think they'll get their tackle of the future. They will also get some very talented players, and I think they bump up some wins. They might be 4, they might be 5, kind of like this year, and wins. It just depends how quickly Joe Burrow gets back, and I think you have to let him sit this year just because you want him to be healthy. All right, moving forward to the Browns. One of the most intriguing teams in the NFL. The Browns will extend quarterback Baker Mayfield, making him one of the NFL's highest paid players. If Mayfield was smart, he wouldn't do that because he has all these other deals. So I think he should give them some sort of hometown discount. Yeah. What? Man, just everything. Do this, do that, do this, do that. You know? Another thing. Let's go with. There, we got it. Let's go with the Steelers, the last team in the AFC North. We got quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and center Marquise Pouncey back for next year. And I think that's very plausible for both. You can argue that's exactly where they'd be. I just think it's gotta happen. They gotta come back another year. Roethlisberger's basically trying to get one last hurrah. And they're right there. They just keep falling short. But they got to get something going. The running game was inconsistent. Yeah, they could pass, but you got to be able to do both in this league. Texans, this is a bold prediction, and it's not anything too bold. The Texans will not trade Deshaun Watson. They're going to try to repair it. Let's be honest. They're going to try to repair this relationship. They're going to push his hand as far as they can. Woo, Strictly Beard is here. But Watson's such an interesting topic, along with Russell Wilson, along with all these other quarterbacks in this offseason. But as we talk about Watson here, they will push him. They will make him make a decision. They will attempt to make it something. But do they get better this offseason? We'll see how they draft. I took the day off to be here. Wow. Thanks, I appreciate it, Diego. As for the Colts, they think they will trade up and select the quarterback of the future. The spot after the Bears, I find that very, very interesting. I agree. They can't continue to get these one-year Band-Aid players. I would have loved to see Phillip Rivers the second year in Indy. He was not terrible. I will address that shortly. That is not going to happen. I can already tell you that's not going to happen. But, talking about something other than Indy, but let's go back to Indy. I do think they get their quarterback of the future in some way. I don't know who they'll get, but Carson Wentz is the big name to the Colts. And to address the Wentz to Chicago, no, I don't see it. One, Chicago's impatient with it because they're literally trying to use Chicago to make Indy pay up more. Two, the Eagles don't want any chance that Wentz is in the NFC unless it's the last possible answer. Three, the Bears have to trade Nick Foles in this. If they don't, Wentz is going to deny it. He can't. He doesn't have the no trade clause, but he won't want to go there for sure. So there's a lot of reasons why I don't see Wentz in Chicago. No, we're not trading Mariota to the Bears and you get Khalil Mack. Unless it's Derek Carr that we trade for. That's the only thing. I've seen that trade pop up where Mack and some picks for Derek Carr and some picks, and it's. I don't see that happening either. There's no way we would get Mariota for that. Next team in the AFC South. Let's go right into Jacksonville Jaguars. They think the Jags will get Chris Godwin. I wouldn't be surprised as Allen Robinson even goes here. I do think the Jaguars will spend money on a receiver. Do they get Trevor Lawrence? It would only make sense if they do. So moving on to the Titans. The Titans will add a total of 4 edge rushers as this bold prediction. I don't know if you can do it strictly with free agency. And yes, I totally agree. I see Urban Meyer doing good things for Jacksonville. It might be a year or two, but we'll see how they turn out in the first year. But yeah, with a big cap space budget, easily can pick the quarterback you want. Urban's got a good situation with Jacksonville. But with the Titans, they're predicting 4 edge rushers through free agency. I don't see that. I think I could see them signing a couple, 1 or 2, maybe 3. But you're definitely going to be drafting some pass rushers, man. You're definitely going to be drafting. Moving on to the AFC West. Man, we're not even to the NFC yet, right? I can't see them bringing in any big names. Right. So, the Titans are definitely not getting big names. They're going to get some of the mid-tier. Right. Yes, we're in the AFC West. The Raiders will be the third team we talk about in the AFC West. But let's start with the Broncos. The prediction, this ESPN analyst, sorry, goes with is they will resign their safety, Justin Simmons. The bold prediction I will go with is they move on from Drew Lock. Lock will be inconsistent still, forcing Elway to pressure them to move on from him and see who else they can get. Do they pick up, say, a Cam Newton as a backup who ends up getting the starting job? That could be. But we'll have to see what they do. This prediction, I feel like, is a safe prediction. I feel like Drew Lock, though, is a little more risky only because he could be good. He could be bad. This is another lazy, bold prediction they have. The Chiefs find a way to sign Sammy Watkins again. I think it will happen as well. My problem with the Chiefs, it's almost setting up for next year to be kind of a setback. I'm not saying they're not 12-2. They're not. Well, it'd be 14-2. Sorry, but I think they will probably be like 12-4. Teams are going to figure them out a little bit more and go from there. A team also that was pushing for that playoff spot as the 9th seed. Chiefs are. I feel like they're going to turn out like Seattle after they lost in the Super Bowl. And that's what I'm going with. They lost the Super Bowl, and usually the team that loses struggles the next year. It's just what happens. So, like, if I look back 2 years, the Eagles, 2 years would have been the Rams, and the Rams have fallen from grace since then. I'm trying to think who the Chiefs beat in the Super Bowl. Man, I'm struggling on that one. It was only 2 years ago. But, obviously, the Buccaneers made it this year. So we'll see probably the Chiefs fall from grace there. As I was trying to move on to your Raiders, their bold prediction is that Derek Carr will not only remain a Raider, he will sign an extension with Vegas. I think it's smart. They have the pieces they need to play all 16 games. They're capable of being very good, but they need to be consistent for 16 games. They're a good team. They really are. They have pieces, and with a good draft, they can get better. I would not be surprised to see the Raiders push. This 3 teams in this AFC West could push for playoffs easily. Broncos, I question. I don't see them doing very well. But, we've seen stranger things. The Chargers, the last team in this, they're going to get a tackle, and they're going to get a reliable kicker somehow. I agree. That's not very bold, but reasonable, and they're going to add depth to the defense just to make it cliched. This one is interesting to me. Dak Prescott. So the first one, I can see the Raiders doing slightly better next year. I mean, Juju is a free agent right now. It will be interesting if he goes to the Raiders or if he stays loyal. I can't remember what type of free agency he has, if he's restricted or unrestricted. Chargers have a chance to be real good, especially if they add these pieces they talked about. But starting with our first NFC team, NFC East, you got Dallas Cowboys. Dak will not sign a contract extension. I can't fathom why they won't pay this man. Obviously, he is the heart and soul of the Dallas Cowboys. As we watch Zeke fail to carry the team this year, Hurts is going to be stood up this year. We'll get it. We'll get there. But Dak, it'll be interesting, and I have to agree, there's a chance for departure in 2022 because the franchise tag is just going to keep rising as they pay for it. Next, we got the Giants. Free agent edge rusher Hassan Reddick will fill a massive Giants hole on defensive end. And they used to be known for being great defensive line. As we saw Jason Pierre-Paul play this year for the Bucks in the championship. I mean, there's been others. Michael Strahan's one. But if they need this, he's a great player. 12.5 sacks is how you look at it. And that helps a lot. Considering they were right there to win the division last year. What's interesting with this next one, as Diego says, Hurts is going to beast it up next year. The bold prediction is Philadelphia will draft a quarterback in the first round to compete with Jalen Hurts. Trade Wentz to draft a young kid after drafting a young kid. What I find interesting with this is that, yes, you need a backup. Yes, you could get a young kid and groom him and see exactly what Hurts is this year. I mean, they did keep switching quarterbacks, and that's why Wentz wants out. I think it'll be more of a later pick if they do draft one, and then they'll get a veteran quarterback to be the true backup. Because they're going to end up trading Wentz. If it's the Colts, I really hope the Bears aren't that dumb. Or if it's some other team. But another team that's very interesting, to say the least. Wide receiver first round. I mean, that would be smart. If they felt that way about a wide receiver. And if Devontae Smith drops there. Or if there's another receiver they are high on. We haven't gone into the draft room yet, Diego. We are, after all, walking through, being helped by a teammate or a friend, like Tom Brady with the Super Bowl. But with Washington, they are saying, Alex Smith will want to keep playing, but he won't be doing it in Washington. I mean, he was a great player. They re-signed Taylor Heineke. They still have Kyle Allen, which he's nothing. But what they want to do is either reduce his salary or trade him. It makes sense for Wentz to go to Washington, but I can already tell you, the Eagles will not want to face him 2 times a year. It's just, there's no way. Now, this bold prediction to start the NFC North hurts. I want that known. It hurts. I really value this player. The problem is, I see it happening. And their bold prediction is Allen Robinson will walk in free agency. I know it's not. Again, a lot of these predictions are not out there. A bold prediction would be the Bears signing Robinson to a deal. But Robinson wants and deserves big money. But I can tell you, as painful as it is, I've seen him quit on plays. And that bothers me. I can't handle people who can't just play through. I know he was miserable this year, and it makes sense for him to walk. I just hope we do something to fix it. We can't have no Robinson. Unless we get a nice quarterback who can turn anyone into a Robinson. But we'll have to see what people say. With one good quarterback and one more good receiver, Washington will be insane. I know. So the Lions, you got Jared Goff on the roster. Their big prediction is that the Lions won't draft a quarterback. It makes sense. You have a decent quarterback again. And you need receiver and some defensive players. Definitely defense. I can see that prediction happening. Packers. This is an interesting prediction. Aaron Rodgers will skip the offseason workouts, assuming there are any. It's interesting to me because they're saying Rodgers will skip any offseason workouts, if there are any, to leverage his weight. I mean, he was MVP. What more do you want? You're not going to get rid of him so that he can be good elsewhere, just so that this Jordan Love can take over. That no one was hyping or anything about. See, people are trying to hype Jordan Love. The problem is they also want to compare him to Aaron Rodgers. The problem is Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers in that draft were supposed to be 1 and 2. Smith went 1, Rodgers fell in the 20s. So that does not surprise me. But to do that for leverage is interesting. I can't see that being the case. So the Vikings will be part of the quarterback carousel in free agency. Ouch, Kirk Cousins. So I don't really see, the Vikings getting rid of Kirk Cousins. I don't see them being in this quarterback carousel. What I can see is a bounce back year, and I'll say they'll get 10 wins this year. They usually go 10, fall back, get back in playoffs, fall back, get back in playoffs. They're kind of a bouncing team like that. So that's my bold prediction. Falcons' first draft pick will be a quarterback. The first one since Matt Ryan. I don't see... They're saying Justin Fields in this article. I mean, I guess I could see that, but there's been a lot of Zach Wilson talk. There's been a lot of Mac Jones talk. It'll be interesting seeing where these quarterbacks fall. I'm not saying anything by any means for Justin Fields. He deserves to be drafted high. Maybe I want Justin Fields to fall to the Bears. Problem I see is I don't see the Bears liking anyone at 20, which again will be painful. But let's move on from the Falcons. You got the Panthers here, and they're saying the Panthers will find a way to trade for Deshaun Watson. Yeah, because Washington needs another OSU quarterback. They failed to develop the one they had. I mean, people can complain that Ohio State quarterbacks aren't developed properly, but I still think Haskins could have gave more than what they allowed him to give. But for the Panthers, this bold prediction of trading for Deshaun Watson, I don't see that happening. As much as they need him, you're going to get Watson and McCaffrey? I don't see it. I just don't. I don't. They'll draft someone, I feel. Panthers will draft someone, whether it's early or later, to try to groom. The Saints' bold prediction is Jameis Winston will win the Saints starting job. And I think that's true. I think Taysom Hill will either realize he's only ever going to be a utility player, or he'll demand to be off the team. That's my prediction. And I agree with this one too. The Buccaneers, multiple high price bucks, will restructure their deals so that the team can stay together. So that they can win, because winning is everything. NFC West, what a division to end on. Yeah, the Cardinals' bold prediction is not re-signing Patrick Peterson, which will be very interesting. I could see them drafting a replacement. But Peterson's such a great talent still. It'll be interesting to see where he goes. The Rams, despite a lack of cap space and draft capital, will piece together the means to bring in a speedy receiver. They have good talent at receiver, but they let go of Brandon Cooks. They kept injury-prone receivers. I think getting a nice, speedy guy will be good. '49ers will draft a quarterback in the first 3 rounds to push and provide depth for Jimmy Garoppolo. And I think this is the best approach for the Niners. The Niners know they're good. They know they had so many injuries last year that they weren't going to go to the playoffs. But they still played hard. They still developed. And now you got this crazy, insane team that's just ready to burst at every seam. So, 49ers, playoffs. Heard it here first. The Seahawks, last but not least, Russell Wilson's upset, but their bold prediction is Jamal Adams will either be the highest paid safety or he'll be traded. Understandable either way, but I do think he'll be paid. They like him. He'll be paid. And they'll keep Russell. Russell, I still feel like, is more trying to get a tackle or something in the draft to better himself. But let me pause right now. Let's look at Biro Sports Talk on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Biro Sports Gaming on Twitch. And let's face it. Let's face it. We're 40 minutes in. I wanted to get to college basketball, mostly that, but with time, we're trying to be 30 minutes. We're a little long, and that's fine. We'll call it a show. But if you are watching this, please give us a like, give us a follow, give us any support you're willing to give. Let's not forget to help those who need help. And of course, I will see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. as always. I know we're started late today, and that's on me. But that's okay. We're no harm, no foul, basically. We will be back next Thursday talking general sports as we always do. Probably going to be basketball. Woohoo! Because, you know, that's the sport Biro enjoys the most. So, as I was saying, see you next Thursday at 7.